To present our next award, representing Great West Life Assurance Company, a 13-year partner of the Courage to Come Back Awards, and for their 9th year, a distinguished gold partner, please welcome the Regional Director of Group Benefits, Fred Smith.
Good evening, everyone. This award recognizes a person who has endured major trauma or injury, which has required extensive physical rehabilitation, and who have gone on to support and to inspire others.
It was a snowy New Year's Eve, so cold you could see your breath. Such a rare treat for rainy Vancouver. 17 centimeters of snow lay on the ground. The temperature was -6. He was just goofing around, playing in the snow, tired of being cooped up by the cold, excited by the new year ahead, by his promising career as an actor. As a joke, he dove into the snow. A simple act. His girlfriend snapped a photo. The dive snapped his spine. Lying in the snow, he had no idea his life was about to change forever. He was 20 years old. His name is James Saunders. When James woke up in Vancouver's Shaughnessy Hospital, he was in intensive care. Doctors told him he was paralyzed, a quadriplegic with no use of his hands or legs and limited feeling from his chest down. He spent the next 7 months in GF Strong Rehabilitation Center, learning how to adapt to his new reality. Prior to the accident, he had been an avid cyclist and swimmer. Now, he drew on this athletic past for the strength to adapt to his enormous physical challenges. Daily, he fought to increase his strength and ability. But his progress was slow because James suffered from chronic muscle spasticity. He couldn't stop the movement and tremors. James had the potential to drive, bathe, feed, and clothe himself. However, his body wouldn't remain still long enough to do even the simplest of tasks. The constant convulsions of his muscles made it impossible to be independent. He was facing a life of constant care. He was 21 years old. Now, if you thought this story might end here, you obviously don't know James. Circumstances may have altered his life, but the athletic, powerful fighter that lived inside this changed body was no less powerful, no less a fighter. In spite of his challenges, James was determined to lead a rich and full life. And so, with the support of his care workers and teachers, James enrolled in the Simon Fraser School of Contemporary Arts. He was going to be an actor. The challenges were huge. Not only was SFU a largely inaccessible campus, but acting is an able-bodied program. Physical challenges had never been factored into the curriculum. James had to take the initiative to make it work. The theater was 2 steep sets of stairs away. Classes were long, rehearsals even longer. Yet James persevered. Not just persevered, he blossomed. A born actor, he reveled in the challenges and the triumphs of theater. It took 6 years, but in 1998, James graduated with a BFA. What's more, he was the Fine Arts valedictorian. And best of all, that day he met a beautiful woman, a fellow valedictorian, Barbara, who he would marry in 1998. For years, James had been advocating for treatment for his muscle spasms. Working with a team of surgeons and rehabilitation specialists, he lobbied the provincial government to fund a baclofen pump. Surgically implanted, this device delivers a constant dose of medication to significantly reduce the spasticity. Finally, James was able to be still. As a result of this groundbreaking initiative, over 50 pumps have changed the lives of patients all across British Columbia, including James. With his new muscle control, James was finally able to live independent of a caregiver. He joined a wheelchair rugby league and began his professional career as an actor. It was difficult. Attitudes towards hiring disabled actors are deeply rooted. So he founded Real Wheels Theater Company to educate the general public through entertaining and engaging theater. His groundbreaking production, Skydive, soared across Canada and was seen by over 35,000 people. A malfunction of his baclofen pump in 2011 resulted in James fighting for his life in hospital while Barbara gave birth to their son. But once again, the fighter that is James shone through. For the third time, James began the exhaustive process of rehabilitation. And again, he demonstrated what we can so clearly see today: his incredible strength, his resilience, and his amazing courage to come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 Courage to Come Back Award recipient for physical rehabilitation, James Saunders.
Thank you. That's awful surprise. Now, how do I follow that up? I have such immense gratitude for Coast Mental Health, and it all started with a phone call that I got on a Sunday evening. A guy by the name of Lawrence Siegel, who called me up and described this whole long process of the selection and his passion that came through. I was just blown away. Who is this guy? And then I got an email from Kira, and I got an email, another one, and I got to meet all these wonderful people. You guys are great folks. You got a really good thing going. I also have a deep personal connection with mental health, so I greatly value the work that Coast Mental Health does in the community, and I feel incredibly honored to be recognized and to have the opportunity to participate in this wonderful event. This honor, I feel, though, comes with a responsibility. A responsibility to not only acknowledge myself, but to acknowledge the multitude of other people that have undergone a physical rehabilitation and have made an active choice to lead positive lifestyles. For many of us, this is a difficult journey. Now, putting all the physical challenges aside, an unfortunate reality is that the majority of people with disabilities do not have what many others take for granted: an education, meaningful employment, a spouse, a child. Many people with disabilities live alone, in silence. Now, I consider myself extremely fortunate. I have a loving and supportive family that has helped me thrive through the most difficult of challenges. I was given the opportunity to fulfill a full education with the support of vocational rehabilitation services. And on the day I graduated, I met my wife. And today, as days can be as difficult as they may, we celebrate every moment with our son. I hope that in some way, my receiving this award and being able to tell my story may encourage others to give support to people with disabilities, and that perhaps some people with disabilities may hear the story and get a little bit of inspiration to pursue their own dreams. For inspiration, it's a very powerful thing. I'm inspired by individuals like Al Itmansky, who championed the Registered Disability Savings Plan, a federal program that provides matching grants and bonds to people with disabilities in their retirement savings. I'm inspired by policy like the Americans with Disabilities Act, where all Americans and those traveling to the US have equal and full access to any public space. I'm inspired by organizations close to home like Spinal Cord BC, province-wide organization that provides support in education, employment, and recreation opportunities. And I'm really inspired by the work I do with Real Wheels, a theater company that I created to deepen the audience's understanding of the disability experience. And I am really moved by the people in the community of people with disabilities that participate in the Wheel Voices program, an opportunity for people to explore theater, music, and dance. And we put together a show, and they are so generous with honest, heartfelt stories. I'm really looking forward to their next show, May 11 at the Blosson Spinal Cord Center. Little plug. And mostly, I'm inspired by my son. I see the future in Max, and it is bright. He does not look at me as a person with a disability. He does not have any assumptions of my abilities. And he has no influence of societal fears. No, he loves me as his father, and he looks up to me for guidance. Now, imagine if that perception of disability was passed on to all of our children. Imagine if there a time and place where every person with a disability had access to education, employment, and a full and rich life. The courage to come back for me is really the courage to continue living a full life with the love of my family, to continue exploring creative expressions that entertain and educate others on the disability experience, and to continue to be the best possible husband and father I can be. So, tonight, we celebrate our triumphs over adversities, and tomorrow, we continue the pursuit of our dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Sure.